Hello, and welcome back to subscribing and liking our channel. My name is Teemu.
My name is Janne, and nice to be back here.
Feels good, man.
Feels good, especially since we have a lot of good stuff going on.
Do we?
Yeah, we have a major going on, and that's always good.
So, topic is Dota 2, MDL Chengdu Major.
Yes, I mean, first major of the year. We had a pretty long break now since TI, so...
It's not first major of the year.
Okay,
first major of the season.
But, you know, it
It's
depends.
November. It can't be the first major of the year.
For some people, we count our years in Dota, not the calendar year, you know? So it's different, right?
So, in Dota years, there must be different months. So, what's the first month of Dota year?
We're getting way off topic here. Let's
No!
get to the tournaments here.
Answer the question.
I'm excited, man. We have good Dota going on. Come on.
Okay.
I want to talk about it.
Okay, talk. I'm listening.
Talk. Okay, so first major of the season.
Yes.
Fair. Okay, so we have pretty much the same system as we had last year with the DPC points. And I want to start with, so we have 5 majors, 5 minors, and the rules are pretty much the same. I don't want to go into details too much. We have some changes to penalties for having stand-ins, substitutes, stuff like that. But otherwise, it's pretty much the same. And this first major is going to be really important for a lot of teams since we have quite a few teams that will miss out on this one. So it's a very good opportunity for some of the tier 2 teams to pick up a lot of points if they do well here.
Yeah. So to start with, the big teams that are missing this major is obviously Secret, OG, VP, and Kuroki team.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about that because I want to know what you feel about it because I'm super excited about Secret bringing in Matumba, man.
I think it's gonna be very good. Matu is going back to carry.
Yeah.
Nisha is going mid. I think it's gonna work out for them. The first major, I'm not expecting that much. I think it's gonna take a bit time for Matu to kind of settle in and for Nisha to get used to his new role and things to get rolling. But on paper, easily top 1 team in the world, probably.
Okay, easily top 1.
Not easily, but arguably top 3.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The question comes down to, can they do better than last season, year, whatever we want to call it, right?
Yeah.
So that will be hard. Secret were super dominant. So what they're looking for, obviously, is the success in TI, right? And because that's what's missing. And this team on paper is amazing. I don't know. It's hard to say it's better than the one with mid one. It's, you know, give or take whatever. I think the roles are really good, though, because I really want to see Matumba Man go back to the carry position. And Nisha has shown before that he's a really, really good mid player. And like arguably he was the best mechanical carry before. So I don't think that's an issue at all. So this team is super exciting. And I can't wait for the next major to see them. But then if we move on with the other teams, I mean, OG, we still don't know much. So there's not much to be said about it either.
They're going to come back in May, get their spot in the TI by open qualifiers and win it. So
hey, probably. And then we have Kuroki's team. I mean, nothing changes. It's still the same team as we saw at the end of last season. And they did really well. I think they did well in TI as well with Weeha taking over Matumba Man's role. So I don't know. It's
you can say they did pretty well in TI. They were in the final.
Well, yeah, obviously. What I'm saying is people expected them to go far. They probably did even more considering that they made a roster change very late. So they are looking, you know, they should be a top 5 team in the world, potentially even better than that.
Yeah.
So, and VP, I don't know what to say. It didn't start very well. They played ESL 1 Hamburg and, well, they failed pretty much completely. They have 2 new, really young guys on the team now. So we'll see. There's obviously a lot of potential. They might do well, but time will tell. VP is not the powerhouse they used to be on paper.
No, definitely not.
But now, let's move on to our major.
MDL Chengdu. So at this point, the group stage has been played.
Yes.
But let's go through the teams now beforehand and then talk about the results and whatnot.
We have made some notes on the teams before the tournament started. And well, let's put it like this: the results reflect that too. So let's just go through our favorites in the tournament.
Yeah, you can start.
Yeah. So EG, Evil Geniuses, is definitely one of them. Even though they have made some changes, this team on paper is way too strong to not be considered a favorite. And also, they went through the qualifier to the major without any issues, really. I think they dropped one map. Like, not a big deal. I think Abed is one of, potentially one of the best mid laners in the world. And Ramses is obviously, we know how good he is as well. So this team is very, very strong. If they're going to go and win it, not sure, but sure, they are one of the favorites. No discussion there.
Yeah. Then Vici Gaming.
Pretty much the same thing. They had, I think, Fade left the team after TI. I think that's a really, it's a big hit on the team because Fade was insanely good last year. So I don't expect Vici to be as strong as they were last year, but last season, actually. So... but still, in this field, without all the teams we discussed, like Secret, Kuroki's team, OG, BP, they are our favorites here. No discussion.
Yeah. Then there's TNC Predator, who won ESL1 Hamburg in a quite dominant fashion.
Yeah, they played really well.
Yeah. Final was a challenge, but still, they took it quite easily. They had the South Korean player March.
Yeah, that's interesting. We haven't seen very many South Korean players at all, besides from when we had the MVP team earlier on a few years ago. No,
because they all play League of Legends.
I guess so, but March has come in and TNC has looked great. And honestly, I feel like TNC are probably my main favorite to win the tournament. So they look great, and this far since the tournament has started, they have looked really good too. They won their group, and they have also played one game in the upper bracket of the playoffs, and they did win that too. Even though, spoilers. Kind of.
Yeah. Alliance?
I like to put them up there. I think some people would want to change. Maybe I think most people would agree with the first three we mentioned, but Alliance might be the one that people would, maybe change on this list. But I really feel like Alliance has so much potential in that team, and maybe I'm biased. I really want to see them succeed, but I think they have looked very good, and they also they won Dream League, and then they ended third in ESL1 Hamburg. So that's super solid. I think they lost to Gambit in Hamburg, which is not great, but it's still not they still ended third. It's good, and I think that shows some kind of consistency in the team. And I also think they have a higher ceiling, they can reach even further than this for sure. And I think this major is a really, really good opportunity for them to pick up a lot of points, because it is important to pick up these DPC points. And
when there's the four big ones or not.
Yeah, this is for sure going to be the easiest major to pick up points. And those points are really important when it comes down to business, like spring and summer. So, Alliance are there for me, definitely.
Then let's talk about the dark horses. So we've got Invictus Gaming, who won Dota Summit 11 and got the spot to the major from that. They've been looking promising. Mid laner Emo could be the breakout player of the season.
That's how I feel. I would say, obviously, Summit 11 wasn't a stacked tournament by any means. So their win there on paper doesn't mean all that much, but they played really well. They dominated everybody. They didn't drop a map basically the whole tournament, and they won the final 3-0 as well against Chaos, which is Quincy Crew, the former. So I was really impressed by IG, and obviously coming to the major, it's a big change in, the opponents are way better, but I really think they can do well. And like you said, their mid laner Emo, he has looked amazing. So I really believe that he could be one of the stand-up players this year.
Yeah. Another dark horse, we have Team Liquid, who had a very disappointing start to the season with Dream League and ESL Hamburg, and now it's kind of their time to pick up their shit and start winning again. So we'll see how that's going to play out, but the potential is there.
Yeah, I think this team has shown really good signs before TI and during TI. Now they started the season horribly, to be honest, with Dream League and Hamburg. they basically bombed out of them both
Yeah.
like instantly. So I'm expecting big things from this team. I really think they have the potential to be at least a top 10 team in the world, like a consistent one too. So they need to have a better tournament now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And well, let's put it like this: they started better than they won their group actually, so that's good.
And other teams to note, we have Team Aster, who picked up Fade and SCCC, two really big names.
Yes, as big as it gets in China, I would say.
Yeah, and then there's Baboka, XXX, and Chuang.
Yeah, I think that's how we say it.
Chuang?
No, but it's really interesting. I put this team on the list because I understand a lot of people don't even believe in this team because Aster had a tough time earlier with the core of Baboka, XSS, and Chuang.
Yeah.
But picking up Fade and SCCC is, I mean, if you get this working together,
It's a new China powerhouse.
Yes, this is the team on paper that should be able to challenge like PSG LGD, for an example.
Yeah.
If it happens, it's a totally different story, of course, but the pieces are there. So I'm super excited to see this team play. And as well, I want to add that this major doesn't mean all that much. This is just the beginning. Give this team, a few months and we'll see, because the talent is too big.
Actually, question. PSG LGD is not here either, amongst the big ones.
No.
We forgot to mention that earlier.
Sure. Yes, we did. So that actually means also that the top 4 from TI are not in this major, which is quite crazy when you think about it.
And then the last team to note about is Gambit, who are surprisingly good in ESL Hamburg, pressured TNC in the final. If they can keep it up, they might take the number 1 CIS spot.
I think so. I mean, you have to look at the result they had in Hamburg. It's really, really good. And this team is kind of a new one as well. So we'll see how they do. I think the CIS scene in general is a little bit shaky right now. We don't know where VP stands, Navi, and so on, Flight to Moon, whatever. We have a lot of teams there, but nobody's standing out as the number 1 team from the region. So who knows? Gambit could take that spot.
Yeah.
But speaking of that, we'll get to the group
results.
stages now. And, well, we can start with, since we talked about Gambit, they did not do too well because they didn't win a game.
So we start from Group D. Okay, so IG wins the group with a 4-0.
Yeah.
J-Storm is second with 2-1. Then Beast Ghost and Gambit go to lower bracket with Beast score 1-2 and Gambit 0-2.
Yeah, I think it's super cool to see IG do this well. This group, however, might be the weakest one, but IG winning the group is still big. I mean, they were not even supposed to be a part of the major, but they won Summit, so really impressive.
Then we have Group C with Liquid going 2-0, Evil Genius going 2-1, Aster going 1-2, and Adroid going 0-2.
Yeah, I think it's pretty expected. Like, I was talking about Aster and hyping them up a bit, but I think it's too early to expect big results.
Yeah.
Liquid, it's at least good to see them play way better than they have done in the 2 previous tournaments. So they win the group, which is obviously a good sign. EG looking pretty good as well. It's a new lineup. So, getting an upper bracket spot, I think, is totally reasonable.
Yeah. Group B, VG Gaming winning it, going 2-0, Alliance 2-1, then Fnatic 1-2, and Team Spirit 0-2.
Yep. Not much to say. I think that's the expected result, or would you agree?
I would.
Yep.
Alliance could have maybe won the group, but,
Yeah, I think they are pretty close. And it's also, like, the games with VG Gaming were, it's close games. It could have gone either way, but both of them get an upper bracket spot, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah. And then Group A, TNC winning 2-0, Fighting Panda second, 2-1, then eHome 1-2, and Unknown 0-2, but quite expected overall.
Yeah, I mean, Fighting Pandas taking the second spot is, if anything, the surprise then. Pretty interesting team, actually. We'll see what happens with that team, but seeing Eternal Envy back and playing with Moon Meander and Aoi, for me personally, I'm not sure if I like it, but there's something, it's always fun to watch. So,
I just want Aoi to get back on techies.
Yeah. Well, look, Aoi is a fun player to watch. Moon Meander is a crazy player in general, and, well, Envy is always
Envy is Envy.
Yeah, so I think that team is just fun in general to follow. So.
Okay, to picking up a pace a bit, playoffs, upper bracket. So far, there's 2 series being played.
Yeah.
TNC Alliance, where TNC won 2-1, and then J-Storm winning over Liquid 2-1.
Yeah, obviously the first game is super tough. I think for both TNC and Alliance, that's a really tough matchup to get in the first round. I think they're both, for me, quite favored to maybe win the tournament. So tough series. TNC proved to be stronger, and I think, like I said before, TNC are on paper a little bit stronger too. I think right now anyway. The surprise is obviously J-Storm winning against Liquid, even though Liquid has been shaky, but J-Storm...
Hey, it's the old man Fear carrying the torch.
Yeah, I think he's the only player in the Dota scene who's older than me, so good going there, you know?
The way you put it, it sounds like you would also be a professional Dota player. Or he's the only...
True, that's how I meant it. But anyway, that's
then we have
surprising, but
then we have VG versus Fighting Pandas, IG versus EG, and then in lower bracket we have eHome versus Spirit, Aster versus Gambit, Fnatic versus Unknown, and Beast Coast versus Adroit. Because we're running out of time now, in 2 sentences, sum up each of these remaining series.
Okay, we're starting with VG Fighting Pandas. Okay, VG Gaming is gonna win easily, no discussion.
Okay. EG?
Best series, maybe most interesting series this far in the playoffs.
Okay. eHome Spirit?
Bad game.
Aster Gambit?
Very interesting series. 2 interesting teams going up against each other.
Fnatic Unknown?
Easy Fnatic.
Beast Coast Adroit?
Yeah, even worse than eHome Spirit.
Beast Coast is infamous, right?
Yeah. I think they should win pretty easily against Adroit. Adroit is probably the worst team in the tournament.
One last question. Who's going to win the tournament?
TNC.
TNC?
Yeah. Okay, Dark Horse, IG. I really want to see this team perform. They are super interesting. They might become the best Chinese team in the world.
I'm going to say...
It's a long shot, but I think it could happen.
My dark horse would be Alliance. They can still make it through the lower bracket.
Sure, but I would
There's
say they are pretty much... You know, they have done well enough already this season to be considered a favorite and not a dark horse, you know, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So,
all right, I'm gonna say Alliance is gonna win it. It's gonna be a rocky road, but if they really now they can show that they are elite. So
yeah, I do think so, and I really hope that you're right because I want to see them succeed.
Yeah,
that's about it.
That's enough of Dota.
That's not enough Dota at all because after this I'm gonna go watch the games. So
after this you can thanks for watching. I will see you in undecided amount of time.
And next week we'll know who won the tournament, so then we can talk about that.
Okay. Thank you. Goodbye. We love you all.
Peace out.